What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of CSGO Bootcamp. Today we're doing Inferno, but more specifically we're doing the T side of Inferno because this map has a lot of utility, and if I try to squeeze everything into one video, the video would get way too long. So we're going to do T side only, and we're going to break it down into 3 segments, which are mid, B, and A. So sit back, relax, and I hope you learned something new. So for mid, one of your big problems is actually having a CT player coming and peeking T stairs, and there's 2 ways to sort of get rid of this problem. You can basically just come mid and chuck a flash, just like that, or there's a jump throw you can learn where you come to this barrel outside of T-spawn arches, and then you see these faded bricks on the right side of this door. Aim alongside of them at the top of the fence, and then just jump throw. And what this is going to do, it's going to smoke top mid, but it's also going to smoke top mid deep enough, so if you want to go left or right side, it kind of serves as a smoke as well. But there is a small gap. So this is kind of a smoke you throw when you're getting ready to rush through mid. And then you use it to just speed rush into A. For the mid segment of the video, I'm going to include alt mid because mid by itself doesn't have too much utility. And one of the things I want to show you in alt mid is a pop flash for apps, where you come to this half wall, and then look for the bottom of this pillar, aim along the bottom right of it, and then when your crosshair hits this part while you're running, you're going to jump throw. And what this does is it pops right here in apps, so one of your teammates or you can throw that pop flash, and your teammates in apps can use it to scale an entry with it. A great pop flash for mid porch is coming onto this balcony where you run up here and then jump right into the corner, look into the building, and you're just gonna have to memorize this one, but where you see the faded paint on the bricks, this little point right here, take a flash, left click, and just jump throw. And when you throw it like that, it's gonna pop over the apps right in front of porch, and so one of your teammates who might be boiler can use that as an entry flash. There's a great way to smoke arch safely from alt mid, where you come to the top of alt mid in this corner, and you're going to look at the scaffolding up here, and you're going to notice 2 sets of flowers. Look at the left set, and then aim at the right side of that left set of flowers. Just left click a smoke. And it's just going to smoke off arch in a nice deep way where no CT player can use any gap against you. So we're going to sort of move into the A segment of the video because a lot of the mid util that I'm showing you leads into A. And to start off, we're going to do a jump throw Molotov for Moto. And it's kind of complicated, but if you can get it down, it's super helpful. So you're going to find this wall, and the paint's going to start drying up in one specific spot. That's where you line up. Find the left lion's crown, and use your little crosshair, smoke crosshair, util crosshair, whatever you want to call it. Aim all the way up to where the wire hits the roof, and then you're going to run jump throw when your crosshair hits the roof as you're moving forward. Just like this. And then it's going to Molotov Moto, so when you push an opper back into Moto, they're going to have to fall back into sight one more time, and they're just going to be super uncomfortable. Another way you can smoke Moto instead of mollying it is come into this corner in mid, and then look for this flower pot, and just aim at the top left corner of it and left click. And instead of mollying, you're going to smoke off the opper when you're scaling onto site. A super useful pop flash as a T is to come into apps at the second arch window and crouch in the front of it and find this chimney and just left click a flash on the light part, and it's going to pop right above apps, so players in pit holding like this are going to be blind. If you want to smoke off right side pit at A site, come to the back of this bench and then find this brownish square on the wall. Aim at the bottom left of it and jump throw. And you gotta aim just right because it's a super specific bounce it takes. But if you do it right, it's gonna smoke this side of pit just like that. And a CT player can't help A site very well. So now that you know how to smoke small pit, you're going to want to know how to smoke big pit so you can team it together to knock out pit entirely. And the best way of doing this is coming to this window on the left side, and I don't know what these are called, but aim at the left one all the way up to the wire, or the middle of the wire, and then aim all the way till you get to the right thing, whatever this is. So up to the wire on the left, and then aim at the right one, and just left click. And it's going to bounce in front of pit. And when you team that up with the other pit smoke, next thing you know, any CT player who's playing pit won't be able to help his teammates while you and your teammates are coming onto A site. So if you want to be able to smoke off the default cross for A site because of oppers who post on it from library, great way you can do this from boiler is you just come into boiler and you aim at the top of this balcony and you just run through. And it's going to bounce on top of the stairs and give you access to scaling and being able to plant without having to worry about an opper picking you off. If you want to smoke off arches from alt mid, you can come to the top of alt mid at this red door and then find this door on the apps, aim at the top right of it and jump throw, and it's going to pop in the deep portion of arch, so you can cross without any CT rotator picking you guys off. Also, I want to point out, if you have teammates coming up archway into Moto and scaling site like this, if you're an apps player, you can just chuck flashes into graveyard like that, and any pit player over here who's shooting your teammates, or any A site player who turns around to worry about your teammates, is going to be blind. So we're going to move to the B segment of the video, and usually what you want to do at the start of taking B is get banana control. And a great way of doing this is smoking off top banana. And the way you want to do that is come into this barrel and find the corner roof of this building and just walk throw. And when you throw just like that, it's going to smoke off the top of banana, and it gives your teammates time and freedom to walk in and take banana control. So what often happens after you take banana is CT players will play for car, and two common spots are going to be corner like this and sandbags. So a really strong combination is to just molly both, and that forces the CT players to either be aggressive or to fall back to site. The first Molotov for corner is really easy. You just come into the corner of this cubby and aim at this corner on the stone wall and just left click. That's going to Molotov the corner. And then for sandbags, it's super simple. You just have to throw a Molotov off the corner of the yellow building. And when you do them together, it's very strong. So if you and your team are getting ready to execute B, a really good pop flash to flash all of site is to come into this part of logs and then look for the barrels at car where they meet the wood. Right at that corner where they meet, just jump throw. And when you look where it pops right above first orange, and it blinds CT, Coffin, Newbox, and Emo, and none of the positions have time to react to it. Now if CT players are playing Coffin like this, one of the best things you can do is smoke it off, and you do it the same way you threw the Godflash. You get in the same spot, but instead of looking at the car with the barrels, you're going to be looking at this fence. Find this point and match them together in the sky. So it's a lot easier with a crosshair. And then you're just going to left click. A super strong thing for taking B is smoking off CT. And the way you want to do this is you're going to come over to the wall in top banana at this doorbell. Line up at the doorbell and find this chimney plume. When you see the plume, aim at the top left of it and just left click. A really strong position at B to play is Newbox. A lot of anchor players will play here where they can swing left and right. They have a lot of cover and a lot of flexibility. So the best way to deal with that is to just molly it off. And to molly it off, you're going to need car control. But once you have that, all you have to do is come in this corner where the barrels meet the wood on the far end, and then look at the roof. You're going to notice on the roof there's a bunch of divots for the roof tiles. Find the first divot where it meets the sky, and then just jump throw. When you do that, it is a little random, but usually it spreads around Newbox and forces a CT player out. So if you mollied new box or a CT player isn't playing it, they're usually going to just move over to Emo. And to molly Emo, all you have to do is have a teammate boost you on the wall in top banana, stand in the corner of it, and then look for these two branches. Aim between them and just left click. That's going to get Emo, and it's going to force a player outside a pillar. So if you molly both of them, it's really strong for a B take. The last thing at B that I'm going to show you is how to Molotov oranges with a 2-for-1 molly. So the way you're going to want to do this is come into car, tuck yourself between the 3 barrels, find the piece of wood looking at you, and then look for the divots, and then count 3 over from the piece of wood. So 1, 2, 3. Once you're there, this is super specific, but you're going to have to aim top left till your crosshair hits a point in this roof where the wood becomes lighter. So find that wood, 1, 2, 3, aim top left, and then just jump throw. And when you do this, it's going to pop on second oranges and spread to both. Thanks for checking out this video of CSGO Bootcamp. I hope you learned something new and found something useful. If you did like this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you around for the next video.